Nice. That was hot. This is an important episode.
Always. Yeah?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. This is the Overkill Podcast.
The Laughing Podcast.
The Laughing
Obviously.
Podcast, obviously. It's a very important episode. I am Iron Meta Frankie, and I'm here with
Kirby DK10, baby.
Ooh.
And we are on episode 69, baby.
That
Let's
is
go.
why it's so
It's a good,
important. Okay.
good and funny number.
Yes.
So,
it makes me laugh.
oh no. I guess we can just kind of hop right into it with one of the most probably anticipated games for a lot of people, which is Doom: The Dark Ages came out this past week, and I don't know, a lot of people, the reviews have been pretty positive on Steam. Some people have had some issues, I believe. The difficulty of the game might be a little too easy for some people, and I think that's where a lot of people have found that they aren't enjoying it as much. But yeah, this is I believe this is a prequel to all the other Doom games. That's why it's like medieval instead of, you still have like guns and stuff like that, but it's more I guess primitive, if you will.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you have like a weird like saw shield, and then you always use like, I guess the idea is that like the guns are kind of shitty, and so like you have a shield also, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, I mean,
you seem
to me
always have a
it
shield.
looks like a Doom game with a little bit of a different aesthetic. Not so much like futuristic, but more
like medieval.
I don't know what you call it. Like
Cyberpunk?
medieval, yeah, or like barbaric. Yeah, I don't know. I know we've also talked about this, but I've heard a lot of people have been having problems with running the game, just in terms of its, like, apparently 3080s are struggling to run it. I know Meta would know more about this, but
Yeah, just cough my head up real quick. I have been told that you don't you can't run it with a 3080. Now, I don't know if I believe that, because I'm gonna be real, like, looking at this game, it doesn't look like it would require anything else more. But some people are saying, like, yeah, you have to run it at like at least 60 if you have a 3080. I think games now often require you to put it on your what am I looking for? Your
SSD.
Yeah, your SATA. Yeah, or yeah, your SSD. And from what I'm seeing, like, I just Googled it, it says, the recommended GPU for Doom at 1440 and high settings is a 3080 or higher. At 4K, you'll have to maybe go down to 60 FPS, it looks like. Okay, so that's what it is, I guess.
And probably like medium.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So that seems to be the case. I'm just kind of shocked because a lot of these games, they don't look fancy enough to require like a new card. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't see how this would require anything higher. I mean, I think we'll kind of start to see slowly, like, I think you'll still be able to play a ton of games if you have a 3080 still.
Yeah.
you'll just have to run them at low or medium or whatever if you want to run them at 4K. Yeah, I think a lot of the reason it requires that much is, yeah, I guess they're trying to push the RTX and stuff like that.
Ooh. Yeah.
To its max, the ray tracing and all that.
I mean,
we'll have to see.
I'm sure that's the case. I guess it doesn't really matter too much to like me. I don't know how you feel about it, but I have a ton because I don't ever have time to play games. I got this 3080, and then I just haven't had time. And so now I have this amazing computer, but I can't do anything with it because I don't sit here and play. But I own a bunch of games that can run on a 3080, so like I don't know how much of a rush I'm really into to get one. And then all of like any games that you play with like friends, they usually don't need like a fancy graphics card still. A lot of single player games do, like obviously Doom, and I know there is multiplayer, but let's be real. I mean, Doom. I don't think anybody's ever thought Doom multiplayer is like good since a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can play it with your friends or whatever, but you get what I mean. Like these single player games are getting more and more demanding.
It's a single player game with multiplayer attached, or as like a bonus, But yeah, I don't. For me, like, I do like my games to be pretty, but I don't. I think the problem with like a lot of devs is they're making their games like trying to be like super realistic. Whenever I think, in my opinion, art style is much more of like a bigger deal. Like for instance, Nintendo has always had like the lowest specs on their consoles, but I think some of their games are the best looking because they know how to do a really good art style and use the specs that they have to the best of their ability. Yeah, to me it just looks like an upgraded Doom 2016. Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool. I guess the question is, do you think you would ever get it?
See, the biggest thing is like I haven't even beaten the other Doom games that have come out, so like I feel like it'd be weird to get this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't want to play like all of the the like retro ones. I don't really care about those, but like the newer ones that have come out, I haven't even beaten the first one, so.
Yeah, the 2016. Do you have it? Because I have both. I have both.
I do have it,
and the one that was like what 2020.
Yeah.
2020.
The Doom Eternal. Was 2020.
I even own the first Doom on my Switch. Like the Doom 2016 on my Switch, and I still haven't beat it. Like I have it. I have 2 copies of it. One's on PC, one's on Switch. Still never beat it. So I'm there with you. I mean, I don't think
I do have it on PC. I do have it on PC, and I remember at that time I was playing on a 970, which I think at that time was kind of considered like an older card or getting up to being an older card, and it still ran perfectly fine. And granted, I played most of my games at 60 FPS anyways, so I'm pretty used to playing at that frame rate. It is nice to do 120, but
yeah,
it's not really necessary in a single player game.
Well, and I think sorry,
no, you're good.
I think I just how many I just I don't want to put this. How many Dooms are they gonna keep release? I mean, they're just all the same to me. I know that's a hot take, but like I have Eternal. Have you opened up Eternal? Do you have Eternal too, or not?
No, I don't. I just have the first one.
Like Eternal,
and I played it and I thought it was cool.
Just like
I thought it was cool.
2016.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, but to me it's kind of like it's kind of like how I feel about like beat 'em up games or like what do you call it, like button masher, like I'm trying to think of the name. The Warrior series. Like it kind of reminds me of that, but for first-person shooters, where you're just kind of going around and shooting, and just like pressing buttons. It doesn't feel like I'm actually like thinking about combat.
Well, yeah, and I know this is a hot hot off the presses, but if any of y'all remember, Leafy is here. He actually used to have like Doom gameplay in the background, and I know he wasn't doing like a live comm, but like I seriously feel like Doom is one of those games that you could like fully do like a entire live comm or just talk over or whatever. Like it just doesn't seem to require focus.
Yeah, and maybe I needed to raise the difficulty. I don't know, but
I mean, if you raise the
just for
difficulty, you
me,
definitely will be sweating. That's why
yeah,
I've never understood people that complain about the difficulty, because I like to play it on at least hard. That way, like if I step out of line a little bit or if I get too excited, I will die. But it's not so hard that like I just get insta-gibbed by everything on the map.
yeah.
I think 2016 is the best out of all of them, though. I haven't played Dark Ages, but from the new ones, I think 2016 is the best. It seems to be just the simplest, just the most enjoyable. Anyways, if we're good with that, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Mr. Krabs. All right, so this is a weird one. I wanted to wait a little bit to make sure some other journos. I don't trust journos. Shout out to journos. Fuck journos. I wanted to wait, make sure that this was confirmed, because I saw it on a Twitter post. But apparently it is confirmed. Hideo Kojima plans to continue making games after he passes away. And some of you might say, what does that even mean? So, during the dark times, the plague times, he got sick. A lot of family died, and friends. He got some illness that they don't know the name of, and he realized he wouldn't have a lot of time to make games. And so he put his movie on hold, and he focused on his new game that's coming out, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is the full title, which is very hyped. And he got a flash drive where he put down all of his ideas. It's very questionable, like what this means. I don't know if that's like just Word dockies or text dockies with like ideas, or if it's photos or drawings or whatever. But yeah, I thought this was interesting, and I'm kind of curious on what you think about this. And he signed it over to Kojima. What is his company? Is it Kojima Industries?
Yeah, I think.
Whatever his company is, it's in this article. I lost it already, and I just was using this article to keep bullet points. Damn. Whatever. He signed it over to his company. So, do you think a game company can continue making games without its head guy? What do you think this spells for the future? Stuff like that.
Bro, I think this is weird, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Also, how would the crediting work, right? Because like I would assume you would have to credit him even after he died for like the idea of the game.
Yeah, I guess you would just put the actual director, and then you would say, like idea by Hideo Kojima or something, or I don't know, game by Hideo Kojima. I don't know. I think people overhype his games quite a bit. I know that's a hot one, but
no, I think most people would like agree with that. Like I don't know, his games are very I think every game like after Metal Gear Solid, after the Metal Gear like series has been pretty like odd.
It is Kojima Productions. That's what it's called.
Off-putting.
Yes. So, and
to a lot of gamers, and I think he tries to make like more cinematic games, which I personally don't enjoy. But
yeah, you and I are both. We're not like anti the cinematic games, but it's just not our bag at all. And it even says here so he says his new game Death Stranding on the Beach 2 or whatever it is. He says that he doesn't like the fact that it's not more controversial. I'm not 100% on what he means, but I think it was kind of like what you were saying, where like his Metal Gear games, people always looked at him as kind of strange, and so I think he's, I guess he's salty. People don't see his game as strange. They don't see this game as strange, and they're all hyped up for it instead of bitching about it. I'm not 100% on what he wants, but it seems like that's what he strives for, which is odd.
Yeah.
Very odd.
It just, I don't know. To me, it seems like he's like trying to be like, I'm gonna install my brain into a robot and live forever.
Well, yeah, it kind of seems to me like he's kind of sniffing his own farts here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's pretty mean, but I think he's just high on his own supply. Like I think everyone has hyped him up so much. I think he's starting to believe it that every game he makes is just perfect. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's weird. I think even if he puts his ideas on a flash drive, maybe if he has like a best friend that's really close and understands, but I don't think the games after that are gonna have like the Kojima moments, as you call them, like the weird, wacky moments that everyone remembers. But maybe they will. I don't know. I don't see it working. But maybe. I mean, the games are good and people like them, so I hope it works out.
Yeah. Well, I guess speaking of some anticipated games coming out,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been hyped about this game. I haven't been as hyped. I'm always very cautious, especially nowadays with all the games dropping that have been hyped for so long. But GTA 6, the main CEO of Take-Two came out and said that the new release date, or basically revealed the new release date, and that it would be a pretty short delay. And the original release date was just fall 2025. Many people speculated it was going to be November, December, which seems to be true. But now it's going to be in May 2026, so almost a year out. And also, I want to highlight some of the CEO's remarks. He said, Rockstar Game is trying to create the best thing anyone's ever seen in entertainment. He was also asked if he plays video games and says he does not play video games. And he also said it's a very short delay. Only less than 6 months is what he says. So,
All right.
Short delay.
Yeah.
6 months.
Fuck himself.
I guess whenever people have been waiting for the game for like 13 years, it does kind of make sense.
GTA 5 came out that long ago? Shit.
Or no. I guess it would have been 12 years because I think it came out in 2013.
That's not much better.
Yeah.
Holy. I mean, yeah, I am curious. I know we've talked about it before. I don't know if I care that much about this one. It doesn't have anything to do with like the main characters or whatever. Like, it seems like this one kind of has more like a. What is this supposed to be? It's like a more Hispanic theme, right, or something?
It's supposed to be like Miami.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if I get really that vibe from it, but sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like, in terms of, like, the Florida Man, I do get, like, kind of the, like, Florida Man.
That's what I was about to say.
From a lot of characters.
Getting a lot more Florida Man vibes from it, to be 100% with you.
Which I think for GTA actually works pretty well, because that's
Sure.
basically I think almost every GTA game has been like that, where it's just like random moments,
Yeah.
and a lot of stereotypes.
I would like to point out that, of course, game journos, they couldn't wait to say that to let us all know that GTA 6 would have pride parades, which is not surprising. Okay.
Yeah, but are they like making fun of it or what? Because there's no way.
Oh, I saw they
I
were
don't think they would
excited
make
about
fun
it.
of that. Oh,
They were excited
no.
about it. But what I find funny about that is it's in a game with cars and guns. What do you think people are gonna do with those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
I don't
Oh, I
think
thought
it's
like
gonna go the
I meant.
way they
I meant
want.
is like GTA 6 gonna make fun of it? Like, are they gonna have like a mission where you
Dude, I don't know.
I
The
don't
journos
interact
didn't
with the
know
parade?
either. The journos didn't know either. I mean, it's not out yet.
Yeah, this is true.
So like, I mean, it is GTA, so I imagine, yeah, they're probably gonna take the piss out of it a little bit. They take the piss out of everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, the GTA trailer 2 came out as well. Shows off a little bit of like the different moments within the game. I don't know why. Maybe I don't remember GTA 5 being this way, but this one feels a lot more like overly sexual. I don't know if you get that vibe from it.
Yeah. This one has like a lot of. This one has like a lot of sexual. I don't know, like themes in it. Like almost everyone seems to be naked or almost completely naked. At least the women. Which I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Miami is kind of like a very, it's a very like sinful, edgy place.
Yeah, but I mean, LA was the last one, and I feel like that one wasn't as bad with
No.
that stuff.
Oh no, I think
Like,
they
agree with
definitely
that?
amped
I
it
don't know.
up.
I
Quite a
think it
bit.
kind of just shows like the degenerated culture that we live in now.
Yeah, I can see
Might
that.
be a little bit of a commentary on that, but I mean, I do think like 12 years ago, I don't think you could really. I mean, I guess you could get away with that, but the audience for that would be much less.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like,
GTA's always been kind of one of those games that like reflects culture as well. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Is that wild?
No, I get that.
Yeah. I like how the white guy is bald, fat, and has a truck and talks exactly how you'd expect. So you got a reggae guy. I mean, I guess I'm kind of glad they. I guess we'll wait to see it, but like I am kind of glad that they haven't made it like. I don't think it's like super woke or anything stupid.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is a hot take,
will-
but sometimes I think they waited for Trump or another Republican to get elected before they finished development. But maybe that's a crazy schizo theory. My only reason for believing that is because like a bunch of things that were like not culturally acceptable to say and do are like now okay again, like without getting canceled or whatever. And so I think they might have waited, but maybe not. Maybe I'm smoking crack over here.
Yeah.
I am smoking crack.
Well, I guess we were kind of speaking a little bit on this on the last one, but game journos, huh?
Game journos, yes. I thought I'd do a little foreshadowing for the gamers. As we've already discussed, I don't like them. There was this article released by Christopher Dring. Oh, maybe it is a man. I don't know. It's kind of a spicy article. It's by the game business. I know I saw like one or two streamers talk about this, but no one like super big. They have gone back through and they have looked at quarter one of 2024 and they've looked at quarter one of 2025. And so far, there's a drop of 13% or more than 100,000 articles, gaming news articles, since in the quarter one, comparing the two quarters. So, one, I think this is reflective of something that we've expected for a long time, that gaming journalism would slowly not like die out, but definitely be reduced, and 10% isn't like a huge amount. However, I will say, I'm surprised gaming journalism has hung on this long.
Yeah, that is surprising to me too. It's like I kind of understand why it's held on so long, and
Why is
it was
that?
kind of, I think for me it's kind of come to light by like some people that I work with, for instance, like the older people, they don't listen to like YouTube videos. They'll like go on and like genuinely search up stuff on the
Really?
internet, like and use web browsing and like read the
Oh,
articles. And so I think older people generally like the game journalism stuff, and
because they
I
prefer to
think
read it.
yeah, I think they just prefer to read it.
Well, looking down at some of the
Whereas like I
people
think
that have read this article, like just their profile pictures, they're definitely older. There's a guy here that looks like he's in his 50s. There's a what kind of controller is this? There's like an original, or is that a PS2 controller? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just not shocked. They do
looks like a
seem like older
PS.
guys.
It looks like a PlayStation 5 actually, I think.
Is it? I
But
can't
yeah.
tell. I don't know. It's not like I would put my
Also,
profile picture on whatever website this is. These people clearly have made an account with this website, so.
yeah, also it's like I think one thing too is like a lot of people just find their game journalism from like Instagram or YouTube or just video platforms in general.
Mm,
Whereas like, sitting down and reading an article, not many people do that anymore.
no.
Yeah.
No. That's why I like content like reading game articles or even, like we do it on our podcast, right? We pull up articles as like sometimes YouTube videos, but mostly it's articles, and we just kind of I like to use them as like bullet points because I already know what I want to talk about, but I like the article there to remind me of some information sometimes that maybe I forgot or I'm missing. So yeah, I mean I get it.
Yeah.
And I had for a while there we had Apple News. I don't know if you remember that, but we had Apple News, and it was like, man, I would get on there. And I used it like a few days, and then I just stopped because I just preferred listening to like streamers or YouTubers read articles because it's just easier that way, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, a lot of these articles too are being written by AI now, which is shitty.
Yeah, and it's also like, game journals. I know, especially in like the early 2010s and even towards like the later part, a lot of the articles were written with a very like left-leaning stance, and also a lot of the times they weren't truthful sometimes. So, and I think they lost a lot of their credibility with people.
Yeah, and a lot of them still do that. I mean, it depends on what source now. I mean, there's a lot more variety of sources, as far as like some right wing reporting to some center reporting, which is funny that you even have to say that about video games. But and then
Yeah,
but like places like Polygon have been a joke forever. I mean, I don't know anyone that still respects Polygon. And if they
or like
do,
IGN.
yeah, if they do, I'd like to talk to them because I think they're fascinating, and I'd love to know why they still trust dog shit news. Yeah. I
Or
think
like
Polygon also supported Total Biscuits, Jeff. Maybe I'm incorrect on that. I should probably fact check that. Allegedly.
oof.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite still was IGN. They reviewed the Wind Waker and they were like, I think they were like gameplay or graphics or something, and they were like too much water. It's like, well, that's kind of the point of like a sailing game is like you have water to sail on. Like, well, I can kind of understand it because yeah, like in terms of the world, there was a lot of water compared to like land, and it was kind of boring. But they fixed that in the remake with a sail that made you go 2 times fast. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. Bro. Okay.
Also, you could
Uh.
just set the controller down and let it go automatically. I think too.
Yeah.
That was still one of my favorite memes.
That's one of the greatest articles that's ever written. That was that. Gosh, that was a while ago. That was like at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think Total Biscuit missed that too, and that's a shame. Oh, that's a shame. He would have thought that was so fucking funny. So.
Or no, I'm sorry. It was Pokemon. That's what it was. It was Pokemon Alpha and Sapphire, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it was. I would like to clarify, Polygon did not support his death. However, it does appear a former BioWare developer, David Crooks, did. And there was it looks like a former writer of Polygon has maybe spoken to a Medium journalist, and they've come out against TB about, everything he got wrong. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just some stuff I found, but just clarify.
Wow.
And just clarify. Just to clarify. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad. It sounds shitty, but I'm glad games journalism's dying. I don't like them.
Yeah, and I think I kind of view it in the same way as like I view television, where it's just like you have like the newer media of like YouTube and social media, and people care more about like the personality than like what they're talking about, I guess.
And now we're just kind of waiting for them to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how much longer like traditional TV. I don't even know if people still have cable. I mean, I think it's been replaced by like Hulu. But honestly, I don't know how much longer people are gonna watch Hulu either, like streaming services. I don't know. I feel like a lot of that is kind of gotten like slop content, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just a idiot.
Well, I guess we can kind of move on to kind of an interesting game I found before we started the podcast. This was on my recommended. It probably Steam knows I like platformers, so it showed me this game. It's got only 700 reviews, so it's a very small game, but I think to me it looks very fun. It's called Penny's Big Breakaway.
Shit.
And it has a little bit of a cutscene at the start. You can see, it seems like the king is sort of, I think he's like grabbing all of these like little, I don't know, furry characters. It's kind of reminds you like penguins. It kind of reminds you very much of Sonic.
1,000%.
And I don't know if there's any other games in this franchise. I think it's the first one. But
it kind of reminds me of Kirby
with
unique. The abilities.
Yeah, it's the character is unique in that she or he has a yo-yo, and so it looks like you can throw it and kind of use it as like a rope. It'll stay in the air and let you swing off of it.
It's very clever, actually.
It also seems like you can ride it or throw it out and like ride it as a ride it. It's like a wheel. So and go fast, and you can also like spin around certain objects and you'll go flying. I mean, Looks like a pretty interesting 3D platformer.
Super cute. There's a little animated short on the Steam page as well. It's done in like a little 2D cartoon style. Not anime or anything, but like actually cartoon style. And it looks really fun. Yeah, I wouldn't have an issue getting this game. At one point, she uses it like a wheelchair kind of thing, which is interesting. Oh no, she's standing on it. Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised with the art choices because the main character is like a clown.
Yeah, it's very much like a circus. It looks like a circus.
Yeah. It's only $15 right now. It's half off.
Yeah.
Get it now.
Not bad. It came out earlier this year.
Hot.
I might.
Get it now. You won't. 750 positive, mostly positive. Oh no, very positive. Almost 800 reviews, very positive. So, wow. Shoot. Every time I kept opening up a different page, the review was a little off. I don't know if it all updates slowly or not, but I pulled it up on Steam and it was different than the one on the browser. So, I don't know what's up with that. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. It's also coming out from the same developers who made Kerbal Space Program. Which is kind of interesting.
Interesting.
And Outer Worlds. So this is the first one in the series. But yeah, very cute game. You guys should check it out. I think that's about it for the podcast.
No. I still got yapping to do.
No?
I just want to talk about, so I know on this show, I know we've been very critical of microtransactions, and I am very critical of them. So every once in a while, I do like to boot up a gacha game. And for those of you that don't know, gacha games are basically games where you pull for characters and items and gear. And often you have like a real small chance of actually pulling the gear that you need or like the good gear. Like we're talking maybe like a 0.025, sometimes even less, like 0.0125% of like pulling the actual top gear that you need. And the idea, and then there's usually a guarantee at around like 200 or 100 of these pulls, as you call them, and then you'll get whatever you want. Or whatever you're going for with that pull. And one that I've been playing recently is Nikke, not to be confused with Nikki, which has had its own controversy. Maybe I'll talk about that next week on Steam. But this one is just about like girls with guns. They all have abilities. They all have like supers and stuff. I guess I kind of want to talk about it because the thing about gacha games that always surprised me is like there in a lot of Western games, it does feel like it does sometimes feel like microtransactions are done in like a slimy, like secret way. And something that this is a crazy take, but something that like gachas do that I'm impressed with is they don't hide it. They just straight up ask you for money, and like you don't have to. You can play them completely for free, and it's probably smart that way because you're never gonna be a big enough whale to ever beat everybody unless you're gonna spend like 30 grand or 50 grand or something stupid because there are idiots that pay that much. And gacha games, they'll just you open up the shop and they'll just be deals and all kinds of stuff. They're like, yeah, give us money, we don't give a shit. Unlike in like some Western games where they kind of are a little coy about it. And especially like Western phone games, well, they'll pop up like a little deal that's like, get this now for $5.99, otherwise it'll be $10. I don't know. Is that a wild take? Is it respectable to be openly greedy, or is it more respectable to be quiet about it?
Honestly, I kind of agree with you. Like, I'd rather just be like, yeah, we want money.
Yeah, like fuck you.
And just be open about it. And if it's like a free to play game, I expect them to want money.
Uh-huh.
Now, of course, if you like pay for it and then they want it, I think that's kind of gross. But
I mean, you know what you're signing
or at
up
least
for.
if they want it and they make it like either gambling or they what do you call it? Like they do like battle passes and stuff like that, or like where it's like it feels like manipulation tactics. I think I'm fine mostly with like DLC and stuff like this, but if it's if it's like pay $15 and get like 4 extra maps or whatever, I think that's fine. But I hate how a lot of the companies now are trying to do they're just trying to be shady about it and like manipulate you into paying for it. Stuff you don't really need.
This is true. Yeah. Yeah, I think there is. I didn't really consider that, but yeah, I do believe there is an issue with having you pay for something first and then having you pay for more. It's kind of disingenuous, in my opinion. I guess while we're here too, another game I've been playing quite a bit of is the Trackmania, the new one they released in like 2020. They're probably not going to release another one for 5 years, maybe even longer. Or ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'll say the nice thing about it is, yes, it is free to play. And the model, I'm curious on what your opinion is on this. The model is $20 for a whole year. And then you buy it again the next year. And you might say, some people have thrown a fit and they never played the new one because they said, well, that's not fair. But see, what had happened is previously they gave out one of their games for free, and they had given out like a ton of copies of this game, and so they almost went bankrupt, and so Ubisoft bought them. So now their philosophy is, pay $20 every year. You can customize your car. You can do like different things, and you can still play the game completely free. But like you can't do like custom tracks, or you can't. I think you can still make custom tracks. You just can't play other people's, and just stuff like that, right? So they want a little bit of money to keep the servers up and a little bit of money to, just fund the community. And they do a bunch of like community events and tournaments and track competitions. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's really respectable the way that they've gone about monetization.
Yeah, I remember you asked me about what I thought of that. And honestly, I think it's actually pretty fair that that they do that.
I didn't ask you on the
because like
today.
if you think about it,
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, if you buy a game for like $60, you probably maybe play it like maybe for 6 months. Honestly, probably not. So paying $20 for a year is actually pretty decent, especially for a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, so if you spend $60, you get 3 years of Trackmania. So, if you're really into it, I think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, you can download the game and you get like 20 free tracks, I think.
Yeah, and so I don't know how it works now. The monetization is a little confusing because they used to have levels. So now you just join the Ubisoft Club. But whenever it first started, there was like a free tier, there was like a mid tier, and then there was like a pro tier. And how the mid tier worked is it was like $10. I think it was like $10 a year, and you would pay that, and then you would get all the tracks. So they release 25 new tracks into the game every season. So every 3 months they release 25 tracks. And if you got that deal, you used to keep those tracks forever. And then if you got the premium edition, which I think was $30 a year at the time, you get all the tracks ever. So like I have all of the tracks that they've ever released, like officially, forever, because I paid for that $30 edition like years ago. Now I didn't play the game for a year. I think I played it for like 2 months, but I think that's like very, very consumer friendly. But maybe I'm smoking, maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to cover some games I've been playing since I never get to play any. I wanted to mention the ones that I have been playing. Remind me where I started. What's going on?
I think that's about it for the podcast.
I suppose so.
It's It's been your boy Kirby DK10.
It's been your boy
Peace.
Meta.